Hi, today we'll be working on this unusual for this channel piece of kit, which is the EMCO ACC. This is CNC controller as far as I know, and it has two parts. One, which is this, let me just try and show you that. This thing here, which has a custom motherboard, lots of connectors, which by the way connect to, I think, as far as I know, to the actual CNC equipment. And then that bottom part here, but by the way, also this PCI card, which is also custom with some FPGA thingy on it. And this is just motherboard, standard or probably industrial grade motherboard. So what this thing does is it's running real-time Linux here on this thingy, which then runs the application which controls all that stuff. So the problem with this one, as I've been told, is that it does not boot. And so I'll disassemble the thing and we'll see what is actually going on. It's fairly easy to assemble. There's just two screws here, and then we have access, as far as I know, to the motherboard. So I'll disassemble that and we'll see the motherboard. Okay, so the screws have been removed and this is just opens up like that. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. Just right there, that's the motherboard. So this is that PCI card, which also is held by screws here. So I'll just remove that. I'll show you if I can. So this is the thing, this is the Xilinx FPGA. So yeah, this thing is obviously proprietary, but this is just the motherboard. And again, it doesn't boot. As I said, I tried that and it doesn't boot, it doesn't beep, it doesn't do anything. But on the first glance, I'll show you that in a minute. The caps, these big caps, are all blown and they've leaked as well. So let me remove that motherboard and I'll come back and I'll zoom in so that you can see a little bit more. Okay, so the motherboard's out and this is a Contron motherboard. Not sure if there's a model and I can't see it anywhere. No, I don't see it. But again, it's most likely some sort of industrial motherboard with better components. But this is the key, this is the CF card, and obviously this is where the software is. And the easiest thing to do, obviously, would be to replace the whole motherboard. But the problem is that the Arch Linux only has the IDE drivers, and this is IDE, and obviously this is also IDE. And it only has drivers for this particular network card that's in here, and this is used to control the whole contraption. So it's not that easy to replace the motherboard. So I think one option, or the only option, or the only reasonable option, is to make it work. So again, if you have a look at these caps, you can most likely see the bulge. So this should be flat, it's not. This should be flat, and it's not. And this is obviously has leaked already, and it's the same story on these big caps on this side, as you can see there, hopefully. So it should be flat, but it's definitely not. Just looking at the other caps, they are fine. At least they are not bulging or leaking. So we'll replace these caps, or sorry, these caps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 caps. So I'll replace those 6 caps, and looking at these, I've had a quick look. These are ultra low ESR caps. So what I have here is a bunch of these. These are polymer caps, and these are, by the way, 2.2K caps. So, and they are 2.2 and 10 volts. So 2,200 microfarad, 10 volts, and these are 2200 and what, 16 volts. So they will be fine. When it comes to the dimensions, these are obviously also okay. The size, sorry, you can't see this. So the size, the or the height, the radius, this will be okay. And these are obviously ultra low ESRs as well, so hopefully they'll be fine. Now, the problem with these boards is that this is multi-layer board, and it won't be easy to remove these caps because the ground plane is huge on this one. So just using this or the soldering gun probably won't work. So what I'll do, I'll also use this. So hot air station. I don't want to use hot air station only because I don't want to heat up that board too much. So I'll just use the hot air station to kind of heat up the area to say 200 degrees Celsius, and then I'll use the soldering gun. Again, this hopefully will work. There's probably other ways of removing this. Hot air would probably be the best, just to heat it up, pull out the cap, and then use this. Maybe that's how I will do it. Let's see how it goes. I'll just again try and heat it up to kind of 200 degrees with the hot air station, and then try and pull it all out. First of all, I will need to remove this glue or the silicone that hold these caps, because without that I won't be able to remove those caps. So I'll do it off camera. I'll get rid of this silicone, and then we'll start desoldering those. Okay, so I've removed most of it, at least to the point where these caps are kind of free. So first thing I'll do, I will add some fresh solder. I will use the biggest tip I have, which is, you probably won't see it, this one. It's quite big. I will need to be careful because there's lots of very small components. Maybe I'll zoom in. Yeah, that's all I can do really. So these caps are here. So this is one of those. The other one is right here. So let me add some fresh solder first. Well, hoping that this will help with removing those. So again, this one here, I need to be very careful because you probably can see it. There's a lot of tiny components on this side of the board. So let's see if I can add some fresh solder without destroying the rest of those components. This one's okay. And yes, this board takes a lot of heat. Like this is ground most likely. It won't even take solder. So yeah, we'll definitely need help of hot air station. Okay, so I did what I could. Now let's try and solder those. I'll start with this side here. So we'll start with this one. And let's go ahead and heat up the... So I'll be soldering this one here. So I'll start my hot air station just to heat up the area. Again, it's 200 Celsius. Let's try it this way. If this doesn't work, then I'll bring the temperature up. But hopefully that will work. Something is wrong with the soldering gun. Let me just check, because this thing is moving around. So, oh yeah, it's not tightened. It's much better now. So let's try it one more time. Let's just see. Did this actually work? I think it did. The pin is moving. So let's try the other one. Okay, so I think this, yeah. So this one's gone. Seems like it is working. Yeah, we have two empty holes. So I'll do these two next. So I'll probably do one or two, and then I'll skip the rest, just not to bore you. And then we solder the new ones and see if it works. Okay, this worked. The cap fell off by itself. They are hot, so okay, let's do this one. I'll just clean this first. So let's do last one on this side. Okay, this side is done. I think the cap will come off. Let's just check that. Yep, it's just hot. Okay, so this seems to work. Again, just using the soldering gun, you would be very hard to remove those. So yeah, with these boards, either use the hot air, or to remove the caps, or use hot air just to heat up the area, that huge ground plane, and they will come off. So I'll do the remaining three, these ones here, off camera, and then we'll solder the new ones, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so the caps have been removed, as you can see right here. All went okay. This one here was kind of stubborn, and by the way, you need to be very careful with this, because if you're ever doing this, because there's two tiny, I think it is a resistor, so there's one resistor here and there's tiny resistor here. You probably won't see it, sorry. It's right here. One is right here, the other is right here. This one is tiny, so yeah, you need to be careful. This one was kind of stubborn. Which one? This one here. So I had to add a little bit more fresh solder and up the temperature to 250 degrees on my hot air station, and then I just had to wiggle it, because focus, if these caps are flush on the board, then the soldering gun has hard time pulling the solder. So I had to heat up a little bit, and then with the soldering iron, and then move it slightly to one side, then to the other side, so that I created a little bit more space between the board and the cap, and then it went okay. So the next step is to install this, and that will be fairly easy. So again, I'll do it off camera probably, and it's just make sure you keep the polarity right. Fortunately, they are all labeled, so yeah, it should be fairly easy to do. I've also switched to a slightly smaller focus tip. This should be just to have better access, because again, these small components, I need access to these small components. So, but it should be able to handle the heat that's required to actually solder these, because again, you need to use a lot of heat to solder these properly. So yeah, let's do it now. So I'll start with this side, and I'll just put one of these here just to show you. Now, obviously, with the polymer caps, this is negative side, and then on this one, the white side is negative. So we just put one of these in here. Just like that. And then I'll just move this slightly, and we solder this one. So just to make things easier, I'll use flux. So I'll add some flux to both sides. I'll go ahead and solder it. So this side's done. I should have used my fume extractor. And the other side, this is ground, so this will need a little bit more patience. Just make sure the solder flows around the leg, and you should be good. Yeah, that's perfect. So again, I'll do the rest, and then you obviously need to cut off these legs. But I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this. Probably not. Yeah. But again, just make sure there's nice kind of solder around the legs, that it flows around. And once that's done, you're good to go. So I'll do the rest off the camera, and I'll put the whole thing back, and we'll see if it boots. Okay, so all the caps are in. These three here, and then three here. The one that I had problems previously removing, it was, I think, one of these here. Probably, as far as I remember, this one right here. So let me zoom in, or this one here. So again, I think that was the ground. I couldn't heat it up enough so that the solder would actually kind of flow around it. So again, I just used this to heat up the area a little bit, and at the same time used the soldering iron, and it worked perfectly fine. So again, if with these boards, with multi-layer boards, thick multi-layer boards, there's always a problem of providing enough heat. So use the hot air station. Okay, so that's all. I'll put it back together, install some RAM here, and install the battery, and we'll see if it works. We'll see if it boots. So I'll come back in a few minutes. Okay, so I've put the whole thing back together. It has connected keyboard. It has the VGA. By the way, I don't have any capture device that's VGA capable or can capture from VGA, so I came up with this. You'll have to deal with this small screen here. Obviously, assuming that will boot. As I said, it wasn't booting at all. Like on the power kind of the fan started spinning, but no boot at all, no post, nothing. So yeah, I'll plug it in and see and we'll see what happens. So, oh, it looks like it's booting. Yep, it's booting. So as you can see, this is the RT Linux, so real-time Linux. I think very old distribution, I believe. We should see it in a minute. So again, as far as I know, this is quite common, and the problem is the leaking caps, like as you can see here. Some of these were shorted, like this one is completely shorted. So yeah, replacing the caps should help with this. So let's break this, and there you go. So this is FSM Labs Mini RTL Linux 3.0. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Again, quite common with these boards. Just replace the caps and it should work. Don't wait too long though, because they start leaking. That's all for today. I'll have something else next time. By the way, please like and subscribe if you like my videos. As I said, I'll do something else next time. Thank you.